everybody. Welcome to another session of Wing Chun. Since I was outside doing some pruning on my garden with this sword and stuck at home with the coronavirus, I decided to do some talking about Wing Chun outside. We don't get this weather very often. You blink of an eye and it'll be snowing here in my backyard. So you saw me doing a lot of this kind of chopping. Okay, this kind of chopping. You see a lot of people doing that on the internet, and it looks very impressive or fun to watch. But in fact, if you were in combat, you wouldn't be investing all your power into chopping somebody like this in half, because well, you don't need to cut somebody in half to win the fight. I mean, it's nice, okay, if you see a lot of katanas, the blade is made nice and they can chop through 5 tatami mats. But you rarely need to do that. On top of that, these are not battlefield weapons. Yes, you could say the sword can chop through, say, a light armor. But really, these swords are not battlefield weapons because they're small. It's still considered a short weapon. In the battlefield, if you were in armor, you wouldn't be using a sword. So these swords, Chinese swords, katana, whatever, you're usually not dealing with people with armor. So you rarely need to be able to chop somebody in half. The other thing is, every thrust and chop that you make, you don't want to invest all your power, because at the end of the swing, when you're like this, next thing you know, you miss your target and you invested so much power here that now you're completely vulnerable because you're facing into nothing. Your opponent is right here, and if you chop so hard that your whole body is turned and now your power is facing here, and here you're completely unprotected. And then your opponent, as soon as you do this, your opponent is going to step to this side, and as soon as that passes their center line, they are here to cut you, to attack you. So we in Wing Chun try not to do that. Why do I use the sword as an example? Because Wing Chun, like I say, that I suspect come from the sword. That's why we put our hands here in the center line. You may not notice this very much, and it's not as obvious, but it's the same as with the sword. If I go like this with a sword and you're standing right in front of me where the camera is situated, now this is way more threatening. This, I am protecting myself and I'm putting the sword between you and I. And every move that I do is going to be in around this area here. Okay, I'm not going to be like this, because if I do this, now you are free to come in and attack me. So I don't want to have my sword and my weapon offline. Even if I'm making a cut, my cut is only going to be over here, just going to be slightly offline. And as soon as I come offline, I'm going to come back online right away. I'm going to be offline just a bit, and as soon as I get offline, this is offline, this is online, and this is offline. As soon as I come offline the center, I go like this. So I'm not going to swing the sword all the way here, which now here leaves me to become vulnerable. So if I were ever to attack, my sword is always pointing towards the center line of my opponent. So if I were to attack, it would be like this, and as soon as it passes the center line, it would be like this. I would be ready to do anything else. I wouldn't go offline like that. So if you invest so much power, you're going to come offline, you're going to be screwed here. How is that related to Wing Chun? Well, it's the same thing. If I'm attacking you this. I'm not going to be attacking you like this. If I'm attacking you like this, yes, I can put a lot of weight, well, not me, but if you have a bigger arm and a bigger shoulder, you're going to be putting a lot of weight like that. And if you get your target, that's fine. But assuming you don't, because every swing you swing, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to hit your target. So if you swing so much, here gives me the opportunity to attack you here, to attack you there. So now you see how it is related to the sword. So that's why we don't do this and leaves you vulnerable. We don't do this and then this leaves you vulnerable. And now if I swing and I miss, which you will miss 9 times out of 10, my power now is facing over here and not at my opponent. And this leaves my opponent to be able to attack me freely on my backside. So that's why we in Wing Chun, we put our hands right in front of the center line, blocking and protecting myself, and put these weapons right in your face. So you have to get through one hand and 2 hands before you get to your target, which is this. And that's why we do this. However, you do have to know that what is for a Wing Chun class and what is for sparring with somebody that's outside of Wing Chun. So they don't seem to tell you, but yes, it's true that in class we fight Wing Chun against another Wing Chun person. But you have to know that when you're not in class, we really don't put our elbows here like this. In class, we constantly tell you, put your elbows here and like that, so that you're protecting your rib cage. However, nobody's going to constantly attack you from the center. When you're outside, people are going to attack you more or less from the side. So in reality, when you spar with somebody outside of Wing Chun class, instead of doing this, we do this, so that your elbows are out and you're still protecting your rib cage, because they do have to pass your elbow to come in, but they're out so that you could easily protect the sides and the face, and you don't put everything like this down the center. You do have to bring your arms out, and you can't stay there as a guard like a mannequin, which a lot of people do, because you're a stationary target. As well as your feet and your stance, we get so accustomed in the first form, Siu Lim Tao, which is the first form that puts you in the stance so that you can have a strong foundation. After Siu Lim Tao in Cham Kyu, we learn to move, and we learn to move and attack from this side. As well, we learn to move here just momentarily in this triangle here. We move to this side and we attack from this side. So a lot of people, they get stuck in the Siu Lim Tao and they end up being this statue. And no, in real life, you do swing your arms out, and you do keep on moving, and you do keep on switching your left to the right, your right to your left, and you do keep on trying to enter into this triangle to attack opponent from the side. So you go into a triangle here, you attack this side, or you do a lap and you come on this side, and then you try to attack from this side and this side. So that is the guard. It's not a stationary thing. If you're doing something stationary like this, you see somebody do this like this robot thing, you know that they didn't really understand the concept. You cannot be a stationary target. You do have to break out of the stance. You do have to be natural. Forget about the stance. Be natural. Leave your hands out. Move your hands constantly, even when you're not in contact. Try to constantly go like this. And when you see an opening, you come from the side and you attack. As soon as you attack, you come from an opening, you lap, and you attack from the left, you attack from the right. Always trying to find an opening, not going through from the center. Obviously, if the guy's much smaller than you, yeah, you can plow right through the center. But we're assuming that your opponent is going to be better than you, bigger than you. So you don't want to hit and crash right in the center, because that's where they are at the strongest. Therefore, you always try to find the side. A lap, see a lap, and an eye jab. An eye jab, duck, pop, and a hit. So all these things, it's always, you are gonna be a moving target, not that stationary thing that you see that people are doing it wrong because they get stuck in ceiling top and they never really got the idea of moving around. And then footwork is obviously very important. We say that don't move around, but that's not true. We're only teaching you not to move around in class so that you can build up that base and your stance. Once you got the stance, you are allowed to move around. Of course, you don't move around in a way that you're off balance. You got to move around within the correct footwork so that your structure is sound. And that's why it would relate to the sword. Always keep your weapons pointing at your opponent. Never take it off. Even if I go from this side and I'm trying to attack from this side, I'm like this and I am still trying to have an angle at my opponent's center line. And if I'm here, I'm attacking this center line at this angle, and I'm attacking the center line at this angle. So I am moving around, but my center line is still I'm still attacking their center line with my weapon. So without the sword, this is my weapon here. I'm attacking from this side, or a lap, and I'm attacking from this side. So there's a lap, and there's an attack, there's a lap, and then there's an attack. Now I can't show you my legs, but my legs are still constantly in this triangle with the proper stance. So that is the lesson for today. It's such nice weather. I hate to see snow, and that's why I decided to come out and do a little quick short video. I hope you enjoy this, and have a nice day. Stay safe, wear a mask when you go out. Stay safe, and thank you. Bye.